My name is Anna and I travel full-time. Currently, I am in my van Firefly with my dog Sterling and my kitten Inara. Usually we travel solo, but sometimes we're with my boyfriend Luca. Wherever we go, we live life intentionally, seeking beautiful natural places, having lots of adventures, and trying to capture all the love and laughter we can. This week is no different. Join me as I lead a trip of 20 of my friends down the Colorado River towards Cataract Canyon, a 7-day whitewater rafting trip. Along the way, we'll have plenty of fun.
Buongiorno! Byyyeee frittata!
Encounter some of our own challenges. We also have to set up and break down camp every single day and learn about this beautiful, incredible place. They deposited a layer of like silt and shells and animal bones. I hope you enjoy the show, and remember, please subscribe if you do. See, Firefly is all messy as I'm getting all my stuff and loading it into that boat over there. So my dad is coming on this trip with us, and amazing man, taught me how to raft, you know, always does his own thing. And we always kind of laugh because the like JB way of doing things like always goes, but it doesn't exactly look pretty.
She doubted me that I could pack this, but
Not exactly how you usually stack boats, but we got it. All right, so we did our food pack. We have our evac plans in place. We have all the communication done, everything packed onto the trailers. Tomorrow morning we wake up bright and early and we head to Moab, right outside of Moab, to Potash boat ramp, where we will put in on the Colorado River. Morning of! We're just gonna finish up packing and then hit the road. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to be on the river. This is gonna be an incredible trip. I'm like, whew, I could barely sleep.
well, we are on our way, and well, we being me and Alicia, one of Anna's great friends.
I think it's in.
So Alicia had a few more things than anticipated, and me as well. So together it looks like we
Did it.
may have pulled it together here.
And we are on our way.
I know, me and Luca met. I really got pushed over to the side. Nice to meet you.
Made it.
We are at the Potash put-in, just about half an hour outside of Moab, and we have 7 boats to unload over the course of everybody getting here. Got to unload all the cars, load up the boats, so it is a big day and it is hot outside. We are here during like a heat wave for this time of year in Moab, and it is over 100 degrees. So it's a little bit brutal, but we are right next to a river, so we can jump in and cool off. going to go across the river and set up camp there because we can't camp at this put-in. So to kind of wrap up day one, we had a little intention circle, talked about our intentions for the trip, our fears, our hopes, everything like that. It was beautiful getting to know this group inside and out. Can't wait to kind of introduce you to people as we go. And yeah, it was a great day and super excited for this trip.
So rivers to me mean connectedness, life, and friendship. That's where I found most of my deepest connections, is on the river. And living all across the country, I think it's just really important to remember that where a raindrop falls, it goes to other places. And rivers to me mean that we're all interconnected and we need to protect these places.
It is the first day waking up on the river. Amazing day so far. The sun is starting to come out, so it's starting to get super hot. We are just packing up, eating some breakfast over here, and then going to get out for our first full day going down the Colorado River leading to Cataract Canyon.
One of those big pots is out. Hey.
I'm big spooning already.
Yeah, he's helping the screw.
Attention, no tension. Like, watch where you're putting your feet, watch what you're doing in life, and hopefully we'll be just fine. But these are going to be the people that we kind of go to for medical stuff, right? John and Maddie, Jess, and Faith. So it's Maddie's birthday at the end of the trip, so we got some photos for your birthday, just so that you can have them the whole time. This. A booby! Realistic. There's two boobies! Yeah! I'm the fucking birthday girl! And take off! Off we go onto Cataract Canyon. So the first 3 days of our trip are going to be on this very, very flat water. So there's very few rivers that you can row without a PFD, personal flotation device, which is what we call life jackets. You know, and be able to just basically stand up, walk along the river. All of that stuff normally on most rivers is very dangerous. So you wouldn't want to do that if there's, you know, really any kind of current that could suck you under. So when you see people on our boats the first couple days without life jackets, just know that that's not the norm for river running, and that that's not what you should do if you go river running. And then we get into a huge train of rapids, like 26 rapids in a row that are very hard. So we have a lot of just chill fun, followed by a lot of excitement. So taking the time to just enjoy the relaxation time.
To me, the river is a place to cleanse and renew. And we've been talking about that a lot on this trip, that the flow of the river is really all about replenishing and refreshing and taking the bad stuff away and bringing in the good stuff. And kind of reminds me of that old river adage, the solution to pollution is dilution. And we really take advantage of that principle here on the river because we put our dishwater in the river, we pee in the river, we cleanse our bodies in the river, and we really kind of depend on the water to take away the things we don't want and to leave us with the things we do. And unfortunately, there's more and more pressure on this river, and there's also less water to be diluting those things. And so it's kind of a juxtaposition between the abundance of the river and the constant flow and constant benefits that it brings to us, and also the diminishing resource that it is.
Babe, Turner and Rhea, like, are in that little dinky inner tube, and I haven't seen them since that curve, that bend right back there.
So we are going to pull over for lunch because we are missing a couple of our people, and hopefully they will catch up to us. So we're just gonna stop, wait, and keep our fingers crossed that nothing bad happened to them.
Yeah, we waved him down. And he said, "What's wrong?" We said, "Nothing." We just lost our group. Yeah, Fabio gave us a ride today.
Well, we got to camp, but it looks like the Tamarisk have taken it over. So it might be a little bit too difficult to get to, which means we'll have to keep on going. Well, we've been rowing for 7 hours today. 7 hours today?
17 miles.
Yeah, we went 17 miles. So it's been a long day, so we're just gonna scout this out and see what happens.
It's a very steep camp, but there is a spot 2 miles down that we could camp. So we're just figuring it out.
Making the right choice here.
This mud is very odorous, so we're gonna keep moving and see what is a little bit downstream. Oh God.
This is like my injured leg.
Okay.
But I got it out.
Are we good?
Well, I mean, I got that one out.
How's your day going?
Loving every moment of this.
So all of this green stuff that has sort of choked out our camp that we wanted to go to is from Asia. They brought it over and we're going to use it to stabilize the riverbanks. However, it completely took over everything. It's a very invasive species. Nothing else can really grow. It's really harming the wildlife trying to get down. It's eliminating river camps. So it's a pretty insidious plant, as pretty of a little tree as it is. So it says there are a few very nice low water sandbar camps between mile 28 and 26. So that's what we're coming up to around here. We're just rounding this bend. So hopefully one of these will give us a little home for the night. All right, we found camp for the night. Just a random little sandbar here, but works really great. It's not overtaken by the Tamarisk and still light, and we are ready for dinner. This is
My love. This is a bison filet mignon. Out here. Just for the tea out.
How much? Tell me when.
I like a lot, but I want everyone to get through it. That's good. That's good. So
right.
it's really, yeah.
And then, yeah, we're gonna just do.
Oh, thank you, chef. Thank you, chef.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
Serve 'em up. The least I can do.
Do you want it more soupy or more pasta?
So it is the end of our first full day on the river. We're just settling in for the night, and apparently we're right in the middle of a frog mating ritual that is very loud and very traumatic sounding.
So the river, what it means to me. When I was 28 years old, 38 years ago, it changed my life. It gave me purpose. It was so fun and awe-inspiring to be in these beautiful canyons and to share an exciting time with friends and acquaintances. And over the years, got to meet an amazing amount of great people. And all the trips I've been on, the group we had this time was awesome. #1, and I loved every one of them.
Good morning, bright and early here. We finally got to sleep last night to that chorus of insane frogs. One of the things about raft trips is you're never quite sure if you're going to get the campsite that you want, if somebody else might get it first. So we're up early to start pushing early and hopefully get to Indian Creek, where there is like a ton of really beautiful hiking. So fingers crossed that we get the campsite that we want today.
Breakfast! Buongiorno! Today we eat the frittata. Homemade with love in Santa Fe, but now on this beautiful river.
Hello. Desert frittata.
So it's cold for basically just puts it in some leaves it overnight. Wow.
There it is.
So hopefully we'll get our Indian Creek. I think it's about 11 miles away. Great work this morning, getting up and getting going, and it'll be another really fun day on the river.
I hope I get to come back to this summer camp.
Right now we have another trip coming up on us. It's a commercial trip, so we're hoping that they don't want it, or we can just stay ahead of them, something to really try to get this campsite. So fingers crossed.
getting sore?
No, it feels great.
Woo! We made it to the camp we wanted. Got here before the other group beat them out. Woo!
Just hand him something.
Yeah, this is the best way to do it.
So nice to be here early to camp. However, it is 104 degrees, so we are going to wait until evening to do the hike. And for right now, I am just going to go and sit in this river.
You gotta say action.
Action.
So the river is like most good things in life. When you know it's gonna get you wet and it's gonna loosen you up.
And it's pretty.
The name of the game, it's a slippery game, it's a wet game, it's an unfair game. It's a wet game, but it's a game called Trail. Fresh Trail.
So because it is a beautiful night outside and people are having fun, we got to camp early, we decided to make it 80s night. But before getting totally dressed up, I'm going to find these ruins for this hike.
Coming with you all.
And yeah, so we have a little crew making a mission for the actual hike.
Are where the ancestral Puebloans would store their food because they would farm the valley bottoms in here because they're super fertile from the silt from the river. You can almost always find granaries in these like really big south-facing like alcoves, really high up because animals couldn't get to it. You'll like see things on the canyon wall. Like, how did they get up there? And they would have like ladder systems going up to it.
So what rivers mean to me is family. Basically, I grew up on rivers. That's how we vacationed. So to me, when we're on a river, it's home with my family. And then as we grow older, that family just transfers to other people. You've always heard people call it their river family, but they really mean it with their whole hearts because the sense of community that you get on river trips is astounding and fills your soul. And so for me, being on the river is being with your family.
My rafting company I bought 4 boats, put up a sign without ever having guided a boat. My mom called me up and said, hey, I bought this motel and there's all these rafters. You think, should we open a rafting business? And so we did.
That is cool. And how long?
It lasted till 86, 87. I sold my customer list by working it. And then I got her.
Good morning. So the thing about being on a raft trip is it is quite a lot of work in the end. So we have fun days on the river, fun, party nights, doing 80s night dancing around. But we also have to set up and break down camp every single day.
The amount of stuff I saw.
So we have 20 people on our trip. They're divided into groups of 4. So we have 5 groups of 4 doing different chores. These can include getting water and letting it settle so we can filter it for more drinking water. Setting up the kitchen, doing dinner, cooking dinner, cleaning dinner, cooking breakfast and lunch, breaking down the groover. So groover is what we call our toilet system, because back in the old days, people would just sit on an ammo can and it would create grooves in their bottoms. So now we have a toilet seat and a tank that goes in. We put the toilet seat on top and then everything gets carried out. We don't leave any human waste or anything in the actual field. You don't pee in camp. You go right in the river. Solution to pollution is dilution.
What I like about rivers is just being in a natural environment. And I think that we really need to make sure that we're leaving no trace in order to protect that. And that's not just picking up your trash, it's walking where you're walking, and it's making sure that you're really just leaving this place better than you found it, not just as you found it, because it's beautiful here.
And we are back on the river. So the plan today is to make 20 miles, which would allow us to have a layover day tomorrow. Layover day meaning that we wouldn't have to pack up the boats. We would just wake up at the campsite and be able to chill all day. In order to do that, we have to make 20 miles of progress. However, unfortunately today a huge wind has come in. Wind is the dirty word on the river. Normally we just call it the dub. And so we have to paddle against this wind, row against the wind, which is really, really difficult. It makes us go really slow. So we may not be able to make our full 20 miles, but fingers crossed. The other thing we have going on today on the river is that we come to our very first rapid. So like I said, we've been doing flat water so far, which is why we didn't have our life jackets or anything on. Now we have our protection on and we are heading into a little bit of whitewater.
I think it's this. Here's the dam, here's the rock slide. This is it.
Class 3 fucking whitewater.
Oh my god, this rapid's huge!
Why would it be class 3?
After that rather misleading note in the guidebook, we are coming up to the confluence of the Colorado and Green Rivers. This is the largest confluence of 2 bodies of water in the southwestern United States and is an incredibly powerful area both in Native American tradition and for river runners today. You can see the 2 different colors of water meet, the beautiful light green of the Green River and the muddier brown of the Colorado. This is a turning point in our trip as it leads to the entrance of Cataract Canyon, our next destination. Upper, yeah. All right, so tonight we're going to camp at Upper Spanish Bottom. Tomorrow night, Upper Spanish Bottom. All right. We got to our site and we're setting up here. That is the dollhouse right above me. So it's a pretty epic hike. We'll see who's up for it tomorrow. And tonight we're just gonna set up and enjoy the fact that we pushed all day long and got to camp in time for a layover.
There's a lot of reasons I love rivers, but the thing that I think about the most is that it's this incredible healing space, and we all think about the deserts as these like really desolate areas, and they're not. They have all these like hidden gems of life in this incredibly intricate ecosystem, and it's an ecosystem that would collapse without this like lifeblood of the West running through it. And as I see the rivers drop and not reaching like the Sea of Cortez, it's incredibly concerning because it's not just water level going down, it's everything else around it. And for me, as someone who finds a lot of like grace out in the desert and a lot of peace out here, it's frightening to me to consider like all the things that are leaving as the water leaves the West.
Good morning. It is our layover day, which means we get to sleep in a little bit. It's also really windy and raining outside a little bit. So very glad that we are not trying to get out on the river today, that we made it to camp last night. All right, so a little natural history sort of lesson of the area we're in now that it's cleared up a little bit today. So we are on the Colorado Plateau, which makes up most of the southwest area. And about 80 million years ago, this whole area was shifting and changing, and different oceans were coming in and then receding. And each time that happened, they deposited a layer of like silt and shells and animal bones and all the stuff that really makes up these layers of stone in the canyon walls. So they kept getting deposited, creating this big thing of crust. Then some mountain happened, and it sort of created all these cracks in the land, and then water started coming through there. And what is now the Colorado River started making its way through these cracks, eating down into the layers of the canyon walls that we see now and exposing them. So all these different layers represent different, geologic time periods, which is pretty incredible to be down here and you see the stars at night with the space and then the different layers of sediment of time, and you get this huge feeling of just being this small part of something so magnificent. So that's a little brief history of this area. So we're gonna head out on the Dollhouse hike, but you are gonna have to wait until next week to join in on that hike. And next week I'll also tell you a little bit more about the ancient peoples who used to live here. We're on ancient Puebloan lands here, so we're seeing different dwellings like we saw earlier, granaries, there's rock art all around this area. So we're going to be talking a lot more about that next week. I'll show you the hike. We're going to get into some rapids, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button, and then next week come along with me as I finish out my trip on Cataract Canyon.
Heard this beat in my dream.